this is Samantha K, and welcome to the Samantha K Experience. I hope all is well. Thanks for joining me for episode 15. Today, we are going to cover two movies that I have seen within the last 2 months, and unfortunately, I haven't gotten the chance to really get to review them, but today is your lucky day. So, we're going to be talking about the movie Freaky, which came out last year. It's a kind of a spin on Freaky Friday, and it stars Vince Vaughn and Catherine Finnegan, I want to say is her name, but I'm gonna just check real quick because I don't want to butcher anyone's names. Catherine Newton. Okay, it was kind of a fused another actress's name by accident. But yeah, it stars Vince Vaughn and Catherine Newton. It came out in 2020, and it is also made by the studio Blumhouse, and Blumhouse has been very popular as of late due to, I think they had a little virtual game that I and my boyfriend played last year to promote 4 movies that they were going to have on Amazon. So we're going to get started just in a short while. But the next movie I wanted to talk about is Thunder Force. This came out on Netflix in April. And from some of the reviews, it wasn't really all that good compared to what people thought it was. And I'm going to share my views on those two movies. But just a quick reminder, I've been meaning to remind you guys or tell you guys that I have social media. And I also have a new YouTube channel. So please follow the YouTube channel. It's the Samantha K Experience. It has a big blue banner. You can't miss it. It has the logo, the old logo that I had previously before the current one that I have now. And like I said, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, the Samantha K Experience. I've been uploading episodes of the podcast on there, and if I'm doing any interviews, I'm also going to be uploading those as well. So yeah, it should be good fun. Right now, I believe I have posted the first 12 episodes or 13 episodes of the show so far. I know I'm still doing some video editing, so I have to get on task with that. So if you guys notice, I added some pictures to the podcast as well, so everything will be in good fun. I haven't done the previous episode based off of WrestleMania Backlash, so I'm hoping to get that done and post that up for those YouTubers out there. And to follow me on social media, I have several social media. So you can follow me at Instagram and Twitter at Samantha K EXP 218. And on my Facebook, I have facebook.com/the Samantha K Experience 218. That is the official Facebook page, which is everything is up to date as to what I am doing, including the podcast as well. If I'm going to any events, I will let you guys know. I will post it there. If I have any fashion shows that I'm going to be attending, I will be posting pictures up there as well. And I also have my Samantha K Experience blog page is also official, which also is up to date with things that's going on the podcast. So no matter where you go, you're always going to be up to date on my social media. And I also have a Tumblr page, which is the Samantha K Experience.tumblr.com, which is also up to date and is strictly based on the podcast itself. So for those of you who love Tumblr like I do, you can also find me there. I'll be posting stuff there as well. And if you like email, I also have an email if you like to promote anything. If you have anything that you would like me to review, it is the Samantha K P82@gmail.com. That is Samantha K P82 at gmail.com if you guys want to send me any reviews, or anything you would like me to review. And just let me know. Like, I have no problems with that. I've been wanting people to send me stuff so I can review it for the show. The only thing I would ask that you guys keep things clean. Don't try not to send me anything that would be a little too much for viewing pleasure. If you like me to review a horror movie, it's fine. I'm not really particularly a big fan of horror movies, despite one of my movies I'm going to be reviewing is about horror, but it's horror / comedy. But it's fine if you guys would like to want me to review a book, and some songs and music, an album or something from an artist, it's also fine. I'll review it. I'll give you my 2 cents on it. And yeah, I just wanted to get this out of the way because I realized in the past few episodes of the podcast I have not been giving you guys my information to contact me, and I realized I haven't been putting it in the description. So this is me. I'm gonna just probably for the next few shows remind or just send it out just so you guys are clear of how to reach me. So yeah, all that being said, let's get on with the show. Alright, so about 2 months ago I watched I think it was 2 months ago I watched Freaky and Thunder Force. So we're gonna talk about Freaky first because I think that was the one that I saw first out the 2 movies. So basically, Freaky is like I said before, stars Vince Vaughn, and you guys probably know Vince Vaughn from movies like The Wedding Crashers and oh my god, what was the one with the soccer, the dodgeball? There you go. I was about to say soccer. Remember he said if you could dodge a wrench, you could dodge a ball. Yep. Rest in peace, Rip Torn. So, yeah, so this movie is produced by Blumhouse Productions. It is about, well, basically, like I said, it was about Freaky Friday, like a free day. I don't know why I can't talk today. Wow, this is pretty bad. It's a take on Freaky Friday. So it's a horror / comedy movie. So basically, not to give too much about it, it stars a serial killer. He's called the Blissfield Butcher, and he breaks into a home and he steals this ancient dagger known as La Dola. So he happens to do his Killy McMurdery thing, and he goes around and he kills people. Now when he happens to come across the main protagonist of the story, she is waiting for her mom to pick her up after a football game because she's the school's mascot. So her mom's late, and basically, she comes in contact with the Blissfield Butcher. They get into it, and pretty much he stabs her. There's like this huge big cloud thingy that pops up, and they switch bodies. Unbeknownst, when she finally gets home and stuff like that, when she wakes up the next morning, she's in his body and he's in hers. And from there, the movie just gets crazy. Like, what I liked about it was the way how both Vince Vaughn and Catherine Newton, like the way how their mannerisms work, like the way how they just move they interact, they move their bodies, especially Catherine, because she seems to get very well how his character was supposed to be. and since she's portraying it as a male in a woman's body, it was just like, wow, she was came off very sadistic, very psychotic, and I really loved that. She pretty much essentially took revenge on the people that were bothering her in high school and whatnot, even though, technically I had to wonder, wait a minute, even though that he's in her body, technically, didn't she still kill these people? Like, you have to wonder in context, like, wait, well, how do we explain this? Like, if we said, well, he was running around in her body, everyone's hunting him because they assume that this is the guy. But if he's in her body, then like, how would that work? If one would capture him, would he take responsibility for the crimes? So it was just a little bit of questions that I had right there about whether or not would she still be charged with anything, since technically she's the one who physically appears to be killing people and not him. Okay, so my thing that I had with the movie was, I tend to notice like certain types of themes that they have with movies like this. Like, they have the typical female protagonist that's like really, she gets picked on, and she's not considered to be beautiful, and there's like so many different things about her, like she's a nerd, and and of course she has a crush on a jock, and he's cute, and all of these typical tropes that you see from movies past, still being portrayed to this day. There's also like, the whole, it was just weird because you have the one thing like with the gay best friend, and there was one scene that had me on the floor where he basically was like, oh, I'm how we survive in horror movies. He's like, I'm black and I'm gay and stuff like that. It was some funny comment he says in the movie that kind of makes you kind of laugh, but at the same time it's like, okay, in a sense, why is that relevant? But it is what it is. Like, I really liked the movie. I thought it was funny for me, and like I said, I don't really do horror movies like that, but it's a horror / comedy, so I had to find something about it that was appealing, especially when there was an awkward scene where Vince is supposed to kiss the potential love interest of Millie's character. Millie is Catherine Newton's character, and I'm like, this is awkward, but I can understand the way how they have to portray it, since Vince is pretending to be a woman, so it's kind of like, okay, he has to have feminine characteristics, and the way how he would move his like gestures and stuff like that. And then I remember they said, well, shouldn't we just wait till everything we switch back, because this is kind of weird. So I was like, okay. So that part was kind of funny, and it was a little cringe, but because you realize this guy's like 50. This other kid this other guy is like pretending to be a 16-year-old at least, and you're like, yeah, it's a little weird. So I think that's what I liked about the movie a lot. I think that it was very it was very fun for what it was, and I actually enjoyed it. I think for the most part, I think that everyone else that I watched it with enjoyed it. I can understand that maybe it won't be like good to other people, but it was good to see like certain characters and whatnot doing their thing. And I like the ending part where I believe the butcher gets to Millie's house, and her mom and her sister, who was a police officer, pretty much try to take him out. Like, I love the fact that the women in the movie aren't portrayed as completely helpless. Like, they're able to try to fight this guy off, and even though that he's bigger than them, obviously, but they're able to somewhat subdue him and fight him off without, getting severely hurt or end up getting killed in any regard. Because I thought, oh wait, moms might die, or her sister or something, but I didn't really want to tell you guys that, but it kind of made you feel like, well, technically I didn't tell you if they just didn't die in that scene. So they didn't die in that particular scene, but you see it for yourself. I just like the way how they are portrayed as softies, and I like that. I like that a lot. Well, guys, that is my review on Freaky, and check it out. It's on Netflix, I believe. Actually, hold on, let me just double check, because I believe it was on Netflix, but I could be lying to you guys, but not really necessarily lying. I'm just saying that I'm lying, but you know what I mean. Just check it out on I think on a streaming service. It should be on Netflix, or if not, it's probably on Amazon, Prime Video. So you can check that out for yourselves. Like I said, it came out last year, and it had good reviews on it. The acting was pretty good. It was fun, cheerful. Sometimes it could be a little cringe at some moments, but you know what? It's supposed to make you cringe at times. It's because of certain actions that the characters were doing, but it's fun. And just for a little 80s reference here, we had Alan Ruck, who played Mr. Bernardi, who was Millie's fortunate woodshop teacher. If you remember, he was in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. He played Ferris's best friend, and yeah, I always remembered him. And he also was on Spin City with Michael J. Fox and then Charlie Sheen. So if you guys like the late 90s, early 2000s TV show Spin City, he was also on there too. And I actually liked his character too. He was like my favorite character on the show. Besides Richard Kind's character, for some reason those two and the other guy, Michael Boatman, were pretty awesome in that show too. So those three I liked. Aside from Michael J. Fox and Charlie Sheen. But yeah, that's a little 80s nostalgia right there. He played Cameron, whose car that Ferris uses to drive around, and the car ended up, going through the glass and into the ditch just below the house. Like, yeah, this is gonna cost a pretty penny. So yeah, so just a quick note, if you need to watch Ferris Bueller or have never watched it before, check it out. It's a good way to make you laugh, and just a wholesome 80s movie, so just check that one out. Alright guys, now with Thunder Force is a show that came out this year, and it stars Melissa McCarthy and Octavia Spencer. So basically, this is a superhero movie / comedy. So there's a comedy theme with today's show, just slightly different genres, which is superhero versus, of course, horror movies. Okay, so Thunder Force is basically where these two friends from, like, I guess middle school, they, one is pretty much considered nerdy and very science-based, and the other one is just pretty much like, hey, whatever. Like, so Melissa's character comes to Octavia's rescue when she's getting picked on in school, and they become friends, and even straight through high school and college. And in college, they kind of go their separate ways because they have a falling out, so they go off and do their own thing. fast forward a few years later, Melissa's character is working. Her name is Lydia. She's working as like I want to say on a construction site or something, dealing with moving large metal containers. So she's doing that, and Octavia's character Emily is doing like she's doing science research because of her parents passing away due to these supervillains called miscreants. So miscreants have been running around terrorizing the world and whatnot because of due to some what was it? Some cosmic rays. The Earth was subjected to some cosmic rays back in 1983. So now, fast forward some time later, people like are in fear, living in fear because of these miscreants. So it's a little take on. I saw like they kind of use references of cosmic rays from like Marvel's Fantastic Four. I don't know. It just felt kind of funny, like when you hear certain things, like, okay, cosmic rays. Gee, where have I seen this before? But yeah, so over time they kind of like parted ways because, you know, Lydia wants Emily to be more like outgoing, and Emily takes her work too seriously, so she kind of yells at Lydia, and Lydia kind of like just basically they have a falling out. Over time something happens and they have like a high school reunion that they're attending, and they meet up. She gets in contact with Emily, and Emily says she's going to come to the reunion. Unfortunately, Emily doesn't get there, so Lydia goes to her place of business to go and see her, and they talk and whatever, and it's discovered that Emily has a daughter who's very sciencey as well. Her mom is working on a way to stop the miscreants from taking over the world, or at least taking over the city. I have to say, now before I go any further, I just gave you guys a synopsis of the movie. I have to tell you guys that there was a scene where I remember, okay, they have a villain who's half man, half crab, and he's played by Jason Bateman. And all I remembered was the term surf and turf came up with Emily's character when Lydia goes to explain to her what happened between her and the crab guy. And he was bit by a radioactive crab on his testicles while he was out with his wife, and he automatically became a crab, and his wife got scared. She left him, divorced him, whatever. She couldn't deal, and he becomes a henchman for the main villain of the movie, who was played by Bobby Cannavale. So I'm like, okay. And I just could not get past this part with the whole surf and turf comment, because it led to so many unwanted questions. There was a scene with the two of them. They go out to dinner. First of all, she meets him in the store where they try to rob a gas station, convenience store. It looks like a kind of like a 7-Eleven, but I was trying to understand the themes, like the references to certain things in this movie, and I'm like, oh my god, did she just sleep with this guy? Like, how does this work? He has pincers. This can't work. What? So then when she goes to talk to Emily about the situation, she says that she has somebody on the inside that can help them, figure out what the mayor is doing. The mayor is also trying to run for re-election, and his opponent is beating him, so he's kind of like upset by that, and he wants to try to put a stop to it. So So he's basically trying to win back, his city, so to speak. But the thing that I really and truly cannot get past is this whole relationship or budding relationship between Lydia. I don't know why I keep saying Emily, because I guess I want Emily to be in a relationship so bad. The thing that I can't get past with Lydia is that whole surf and turf comment. When Emily tells her, she says to her, "Oh wait, you got surf and turfed?" And I'm like, oh my god, why? And then you go and you think about the scene that they showed you where Butter got involved, and I'm like, oh my god, I cannot. This is just a place that I didn't want to go, and I was hoping so bad that they didn't go there, but they did, and I'm just like, It's one of those movies that kind of made you like, But the thing that I didn't like was when the trailer first came out for Thunder Force on Netflix. It portrayed the movie a lot more seriously than it did. And then when you watch the movie, you're like, wait, this isn't as serious as the trailer made it sound. And I think this is one of the reasons why I've been having a lot of issues with things like Netflix, because Netflix has been showing me at least, trailers for movies and TV shows that either don't explain anything, or two, it shows you something complete, or I'm gonna say number two, they show you, they tell you everything you need to know about the whole movie in less than like 2 minutes time, so it makes you not even want to watch the movie. Or my personal favorite 3, they is not so much a trailer but a whole scene that doesn't tell you anything. It doesn't show you what's going on, like what is the purpose of this movie, what is this about, or they do tell you, they show you a whole trailer that tells you basically the whole movie, that makes you kind of like not want to watch it, or they give you misleading trailers that basically tell you that the movie is a lot more serious than it really is, because when you look at the trailer, Thunder Force looks a lot more serious than it actually is. Yes, it's a superhero movie / comedy, but you wouldn't think it was a comedy until you watch the movie. Even if you do know that Melissa McCarthy is known for being comedic, you wouldn't think that by just looking at the trailer. Because if you didn't know that Melissa McCarthy was a comedic actress at times, you would never get that by watching the trailer. So I think that that's where Netflix needs to fix their trailers, or they'll have movies that you click on and then there's no trailer for it. I'm like this is like, they have to pick a lane. So those are one of the things that I kind of didn't like about the fact that made me want to click on the movie, because I was like, oh, this is a superhero movie, it looks serious. Then I go, it's like, wait, this is completely different than what I was shown in the trailer. I'm like, okay, this is no. And I've had moments like that, and I have another movie that I'm going to mention in another episode with you guys called Shadow of the Moon, I believe. I have to go back and get the actual full-on title to explain to you guys why I have to say I don't like this movie, like that particular movie, because again, that was a perfect example of why the trailer is misleading to the actual movie itself. So yeah, I have to say that I did kind of sort of like Thunder Force. I felt it was a little bit cheesy at times, and in some cases trying too hard for comedy. But just between the two movies of Freaky and Thunder Force, the comedy was okay. I just think that, for me personally, with Melissa McCarthy and Octavia Spencer, I mean, I didn't think Octavia really did comedy like that, but hey, I don't want to typecast anyone, any actress or actor in anything, but I think she is a very good actress. I think Melissa's a good actress too. I just think that sometimes that some of the roles that she takes can kind of redundant in a sense, like the way how it's being portrayed. Maybe I just need to see Melissa McCarthy in more of a serious role, but I think she's done a good job, and it was produced by her and her husband, Ben Falcone, or is it Falcone? I want to say Falcone, but it was produced and written by her husband, and that's cool that it was produced by her and her husband, and it was written by him, and he was one of the henchmen that actually got beaten up in the movie too. I noticed that. That was kind of funny. Not every day you say, hey, I'm gonna beat my husband's ass, you know. At least not in that particular world, I guess. Yeah, I like Bobby Cannavale as a villain, though. I mean, I know he played the stepdad in Ant-Man, and he's been in other things too. But I think he was a comedian, if I'm not mistaken. But he was pretty okay. It wasn't bad. It was pretty okay. Palm Clementif, she played oh my god, in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. And I didn't even recognize, she's also a villain in the movie, and I didn't even recognize her at first. She's a girl with the blonde hair in the movie, and I don't know what about Palm that I can never figure out it's her. But I was like, wait, now that I'm looking at the cast list, I'm like, wait, that was her? I didn't even have to guess who it was. I just automatically saw the name, and I was like, oh wait, she was a girl with the lightning. Okay, cool. So she has lightning powers. And Jason Bateman has crabs. I mean, not the actor has crabs, but he's a crab in the movie. Oh my gosh. I cannot believe I just said Jason Bateman has crabs. That sounds so horrible. Oh my god, guys. I can't. I really can't. I really just said that. I want to edit that part out, but I don't even know. I think part of me wants to keep it in, but the other part just wants to oh my god. Just for the record, I don't know Jason Bateman personally. I think he's great in the Ozark and in Teen Wolf 2, because I remember him from that, because I'm really old. But yeah, no, he does not have crabs. He does not have that, and I don't know his personal life, and I hope to God that he never hears this, but no, he does not have it. And I think he would not be so happy to know that somebody said he had crabs. I didn't mean it in that term. I'm just meaning that his character was a crab, and I'm just okay. I'm gonna just end the review here, guys. And I just want to let you guys know to continue to have an awesome weekend. I'm Samantha K, and this is the Samantha K Experience. And don't forget to check me out on social media. Hit the subscribe button on my YouTube channel. You guys are going to have all my deets in the description on the page of this lovely, lovely, fantastic podcast. So this is me signing off, and guys, take care of yourselves and each other. I'm out. Peace.